Hello, 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 everybody. Hi, hi, hi. Welcome to the Mary D Talk Show. For those of you that are new, my name is Mary D. Welch. This talk show is on every Monday at 1 o'clock. I just want to welcome you to the show. I'd like to first thank you, our live viewers. Hi, live viewers. Then I want to thank our replay viewers. Thank you, replay viewers. Replay viewers, I know you may not realize it, but you matter too. You all do. And those of you that have gone and subscribed on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and you subscribe to the show, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to thank our executive producer, which is my husband. His name is Oliver Welch. Hi, babe. He's in the background, as I said before. You guys saw him last Christmas. So every year he'll come up, he'll kind of stick his head and you guys get to see who he is. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And then I also want to thank you to our sponsors, the Idea Club. Thank you, Idea Club. We want to thank who else? I'm thinking Idea Club. Now I'm thinking other sponsor. We have I say motivation. They're international motivational that I call them messengers, and they are Jewel Diamond Taylor. Thank you, Jewel Diamond. She has a 24-hour line that's on. You can call 24 hours a day and be motivated. Then we have who else is on? Zulu Ali. He's an attorney. He's on every Sunday at 5 o'clock. And what I love about the people, I'm just giving you their names. Those of you that are on the email list, you get the emails. And usually at the bottom, I try to make sure I include them. The reason being they're giving of their time and their energy to the community. They're not asking for anything for this. They're just giving it. And I'm so impressed with that they would, give. I mean, of course, Mr. Attorney Ali, but when I mentioned Jewel Diamond Taylor, she's a motivational speaker. She travels all around the country, pretty much all around the world. But her message is always uplifting. Before I ever met her, I'll tell you a quick story. I'd read something. I'd heard her. She was on Women on I think it was not Women on the Grow. I think it was the Black Women, the tour that was traveling all over the country at that time. And I was just so impressed. I remember reading her bio. This is years ago. And I wasn't able to go to the Black Women on Tour. I knew about it, but I was a single mom with 3 kids. So that was just not something in my budget to do. But I was always impressed with her. And years later, she was a guest speaker I used to do, for many of you familiar with, First Fridays in the Inland Empire. And I met her there. And she became a speaker at First Fridays. She was already then an author. I actually still have the book that she signed for me then. So she has now become a personal friend. It's so interesting about how this happened. And then we would live, in the same vicinity. Because at the time, I think I was here. I don't know if she was in the LA area or not, but I was here in the Inland Empire area. And now she's in the Inland Empire. I'll tell you how things work out. So, but anyway, I just want to tell you guys, welcome to the show. And also it's Mr. Henderson. He has a very short but very encouraging. He's on there too. So if you're not on the email list, let me tell you how to get there. You can send an email to Mary, M-A-R-Y, at marydwelch.com. I think I have it up here so you can see it. Yeah, there you go. Oh, no, it says, okay. It says the YouTube, for you to like, subscribe, and share on YouTube. Make sure you do that. Like, subscribe, and share. That makes a difference. So make sure you do that. Now we have today on the show, we're doing something different. I know. You know what it is? It's like you have to do different things to keep you on your feet. And this just how I am. It's like after so long, I have to mix it up and do something different. So this time, today, we're going to have half the show. It's going to be what we're going to finish up. We talked about last week, which was about probate. And we're going to get into wills. And I kind of wanted to get into trust, but I want to go into that because as I remember sharing with you, I'm not an attorney. Remember I said I always have to say I'm not an attorney, and I'm not an attorney. But I have to say that because somebody could take what I'm saying and think I am an attorney. Now, let me just say it again, just to make sure everybody's clear on that. I am not an attorney, but due to my experiences, that's what you're getting the benefit of is my experiences. And hi, Charles. Hi there, Charles. Always a pleasure to see you, Charles. Always. So that's why I wanted to share this with you. So I'm going to give you some tidbits and then we'll go from there. Hi, Nanette. Hi, Nanette. Always good to see you also. Nice of you to stop by. Anytime any of you can, I'm like overwhelmed. I'm so happy to see you. So, and then see the only like on LinkedIn, I don't see the comments from LinkedIn. So if you're on LinkedIn, you'd have to go over to YouTube or Facebook to leave a message because I can't see your comments. And if you're on Twitter or X, I can't see your comments either. The show is on there, but I can't see the comments that you have. So that's why it's really important that you go to either Facebook or not LinkedIn, to see to make comments, YouTube or Facebook, and I see those comments come through. That's the only ones I can really see. So if you have any comments, that's where you leave them. So let's finish up. Last week, we were talking about the differences between a trust and what a trust is and what's in a trust. And I was stressing to you, it's like I said, this is what I would tell all of you. Anytime you're dealing with things of this nature, seek the advice of an attorney. Seek the advice of an attorney. Do not, I would not tell anybody to do any of this without an attorney. You'll never hear me say that because they know things you don't know. That's why you're paying them. They're the expert. I'm not the expert. And I seek the advice of an attorney. So what does that tell you? You never see me saying I know it all because I know I don't. I'm not even going to pretend to know it all. But seek the advice of an attorney. That's number one. Number two, I went to go over. I shared with you. It's called a poor man's trust. Now, what is that? Let me go over that with you. A poor man's trust is what I was telling you, the transfer on death deed. Now, if you're not in California, this is only for California residents. Let me say that. So if you're outside of California, you're not going to really, this won't apply to you because the transfer on death deed is good in 33 states and the District of Columbia. But every state has their own laws pertaining to this. Only one I talk about is California because that's the state I live in. But for those that want to get the book, the book has all 33 states. It has their paperwork, all that's in the book. But I also gave you guys, as they say, a nugget. You can, in California, there's 58 counties. You can go to the county of records in those 58 counties, go online, and when you go to that county, I'll use Riverside as an example because that's the county I live in. I can go to Riverside County of Records, and that the County of Records, that's where you're going to have marriage. That's where you're going to have your, they can show what date you got married, your marriage license and everything, death certificates there, your home is there. They can, the important stuff is right there. So that's where you will find that. So when you go to the County of Records, you go on the website and you put in transfer on death deed. You put that in, and it's going to come up in your county. Now, all the counties, if I'm not mistaken, I think all the counties in California have the same paperwork because it would be a state. It's not a county paperwork. It's a state-driven paperwork, meaning the entire state has the same paperwork, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that, but I can tell you for a fact. The paperwork is called a transfer on death deed. You would download that paperwork. You would take it to and get it notarized. You are going to need 2 signatures, and remember, the people that are witnessing the paperwork cannot benefit. And I cannot stress. This has happened more than once. That someone's come to me and they're asking me about it, and I tell them, well, are they a beneficiary of it? And they said yes, and I said then they cannot be a witness. You can't be both. You can be a beneficiary or you can be a witness, but you can't be both. So that's very important because if they are both, then it's null and void. It's as if it was never filled out. So that's why I think they went to where you have to have it. You have to have 2 witnesses now. And then I'm going to go to wills too, but let me just focus on transfer on death deed. This is for anyone that owns property I'm using California, but this is what I'm finding. Many people own property outside of the state of California. Then you really want to get the book because inside of the book, it lists the states that this applies to. I can tell you for a fact, it's like I said, it's over half of the 33 states and the District of Columbia. It's so interesting. Maryland, which is right, those of you interested or know about the DMV, right next door, and it doesn't have it. Does not have this. I thought that was very intriguing, but it doesn't. So I would, the ones I can tell you too, Nevada and Arizona, which are right next door to California, they have it. Texas has it, but Texas is called the Ladybird deed. Michigan is called the Ladybird deed. So I just want you to know that. So you know, if you hear Ladybird deed, you wouldn't. That's the same as or equal to transfer on death deed. It's the same thing. It's just a different name. But if you hear the term Ladybird deed, and for sure I can tell you that's what they call it in Texas, named after Lady Bird Johnson, who was married to Lyndon B. Johnson. I don't know why they named it after her, but they did. And then Michigan is called the Ladybird deed. But for the majority of the states, it's called the transfer on death deed, or called a TOD. Let's say that again, a TOD. Now, why is that important? If you own property and you don't have a trust and you want that property to go to someone, you can fill out this paperwork, have it notarized, then you file it with your deed. Now, many of you already have a trust and you've already done the paper. You already filed it with your deed. So this wouldn't apply to you because you already have something in place. What I like about this also, you can, it's revocable, meaning let's say the person that you put on the deed, they pass away before you do. So now you need to change it. It costs less than $100 to do any of this. When I did a trust years ago, the attorney told me for you to change your trust is $1,500. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. He goes, no. And I know the reason for that. They were discouraging me from running in there and changing that trust every time you turn. I never changed it, by the way. After that man said that, I said, no, I'm going to be changing it. So that's just telling you. But this, you can change. You can go back and these things do happen, by the way. The beneficiary could pass away before you do. Now, you may need to change the name on there. It'll cost you less than $100 to do that. Remember, I was quoted $1,500. And this was over 20 years ago. So I don't know what they charge now. But I think, honestly, to be honest with you, you can get a trust done now, from what I've been told, like $500. That's what I've been told. And I haven't done it. I can just tell you what I paid. And I try to be very, what's the word we always use, transparent. So that's what I was told, that you can get one for $500 now. Let me tell you what's in a trust. And I got time. Okay. In a trust, you're going to have a medical directive, which means you're letting your family know if you don't have any brain activity or anything like that, then it's okay to let you go, basically. You're telling them what to do in the event that you cannot speak for yourself. You've already decided. If I don't have any brain activity, don't just have me lingering in the hospital, that kind of thing. Or, I'm on a respirator, whatever the case may be. You can make choices now as to how you want your end of life time to be. And then some people don't want to decide that. And, everybody's different. But that's what you're going to have, a medical directive. Another thing you're going to have in your trust is a power of attorney. Now, why is that important? A power of attorney is giving someone in your stead. It's really saying this person is me. That's what a power of attorney is saying. They said, even though I'm here, but this person is acting for me, which is really huge, by the way. It really is, for somebody to do that. That takes a lot of trust when it comes to power of attorney. So keep that in mind if you are completing a power of attorney. You have to beware, because that person is eligible. They can get in your bank accounts, anything in your finances. They have control over. So some people don't even like the idea of that. Somebody can steal everything from you, and they can. I'm not gonna lie. They can. They have that opportunity. So you have to be very, very careful with that paperwork as to who you want to be allowed to do those things for you. They'll probably pay your bills and do all those kind of things for you. So that's going to be in there also. And in addition to that, we're talking about what's in a trust. You're going to have a will in a trust. You're going to have a will that's going to say, um, those are the three. I'm not, and that's not it, by the way. Like I said, I'm not an attorney. I'm just telling you this is generally, but there is also a paper that you're going to attach to the deed that says who you want to receive your property upon your demise. Now, when they receive your property, remember everything goes with that property. That means any liens or encumbrances go with it. Any loans go with it. None of that it goes with it. Whatever is on the property goes with it. If the property is paid for and free and clear, that goes with it too. So it just depends on how that property is situated. Because sometimes people they regret they got the property because it has liens and that kind of thing, and you have to be able to change the title before you can do anything with it. That's why the transfer on death deed is so important, because now you do have to pay a fee. But when I tell you the fees are minuscule. I think it's less than $100, and they're going to take the original owner's name off and put your name on. And someone asked me, they said, "What if it's not paid for?" Honestly, everyone that I've dealt with so far, it was their parents, and it was paid for. So I've never dealt with anyone that received a mortgage when they received a property. So I can't speak on that. So I don't really know. So that's a good question though. I haven't encountered that yet. Every single one, the parents paid it off, and it was free and clear, and they just transferred to them, and that was it. That pretty much was it. It was something else I wanted to tell you guys about, but that was for sure. I just wanted to go over the transfer on death deed to make sure that if that's something, but get the book, go to Amazon. Go to Amazon, put my name in, and the book is titled "Save Your Home from Probate." All 33 states are in there and the District of Columbia. At the bottom of all the paperwork, it says for educational purposes only. But you also know now you get to see what states have the transfer on death deed. California has it, which is relatively new to California. And truthfully, it's only been in less than 10 years that they have. They haven't made it a law yet because they just want to see. They're looking at it to see how is it working with the court system, all those kind of things. I'm pretty encouraged that they will make it a law. But okay, now, so we have a few more minutes before our speaker comes on. Now I want to go over wills with you. And if you have any questions, please type them in. Any questions about it? What's a will? Okay. In the state of California, and I have to say that because it's not all around. Every state has their own rights when it comes to these things. They're called states' rights. Like, for instance, the DMV, that's a state right. The federal government doesn't determine your driver's license and all those things. That's the state of whatever state you live in, they determine that. And this is one of them. So in California, because there's so many people that don't have a will, California will allow you to write your will by hand. Think about this. Sign it and date it, and that can be admissible in court. Now, that's called a holographic will. Do I advise that? No. Let me tell you why. Because it's not witnessed. Someone is without a doubt going to contest it. I can guarantee you that. But I'm not saying it won't hold up, because the numbers of people that don't have a will, they don't have anything, are so astronomical. They're willing to accept that because they know it's like, okay, we have something that they left, because for the most part, a lot of people have nothing. Not a lot. I don't want to sound like that, but obviously there's probate court, that should tell you. So I would encourage you to, a will, I would not encourage you to do that. Let me just say that you'll never hear that from me. I would encourage you to go on and get an actual will and get it witnessed and notarized. I say go down do all that, because anything less than that, you're asking for people to fight in court. That's really what it is. So I don't really encourage that. But you can do that. You can download the will, right? I mean, you look at all the different places on the internet. You can download a will. You can take it and get it notarized. Um, this is what I would do though. If you were gonna leave anything to anybody, I would tell them, because if you pass away, you never said anything. How do they know you left it to them? They don't. So if you're going to leave something, whether it be property, money, whatever it is, at least tell them that they're going to get that, or insurance, whatever. I tell them that when upon my passing, you're not trying to have them do something to you, but let them know, when you leave here, I've left you this, I've left you that amount, that kind of thing. So I would tell them that. But you can write it by hand. I don't advise that. Not that I'm giving you advice, as it is I'm giving you information, but you don't want to do that, in my opinion. And I would highly recommend you go see an attorney. And I was sharing with you before we got off last week, in all the counties in the state of California, I can't speak for anyone outside the state, but I'm going to have to look into that because I don't really know the answer to that. You can go to the Bar Association and you can say, I like to speak to an attorney, and it's called a lawyer referral. The lawyer referral, all over the state of California. So it's 58 states. You would go to the local bar association. I want a lawyer referral. You're going to have to bring to that attorney. You get 1 hour with that attorney. 1 hour. You have to bring certified funds. If I remember correctly, you could not write a personal check. It has to be a money order. It has to be a cashier's check or cash, but that's it. There are no personal checks because everybody know people will, personal check can disappear. I mean, they may or may not be good. So it has to be certified funds. So be that as it may. So that's how you go. You write your questions down. That's what I was trying to stress to everyone. And we run out of time. We're getting short on time. You write your questions down before you go see the attorney. That's called I'm going to say it again for those, as they say, for everybody in the back. It's called, you go to the Bar Association for your county, whatever the Bar Association is. For ours, it's Riverside County. Somebody here could be San Bernardino County Bar Association, LA County. They all have them, by the way. Bar Association, and say, I would like to speak to an attorney with the lawyer referral. You got to say that. Now think about how this is beneficial to you. If you did not know about the lawyer referral service, that time with that attorney can cost you $500 or $600 that same hour. But they're going to do it for less than $100. The last time I used it, I paid, I want to say $75. It was $65 or $75. But I thought that was very reasonable. And I wrote all my questions down in a notebook. And I left space so I can put the answers that they gave me in each one. And I had about 7 questions. They answered every single one. And I was so impressed with that. And I even had some intellectual property. I've had, like, for instance, 2 different attorneys. And one was for intellectual property. And he answered all my questions. But I had them all written down. See, this is what I can't stress that to you guys enough. Don't go there thinking you're going to remember, because you're not. Because it's stressful to see an attorney. At least it is for me. I'm going to speak for me. So I had to write them down because I'll forget. And then I got my questions answered. I told them thank you. I paid them and I was on my way. But this is someone that this is what the law they practice in. So I wasn't talking to just anybody. I'm talking to someone, this is their expertise. And it was I want to say $65 or $75. It's been a couple of years now, so I don't remember. But still, to get them answered by someone that this is what they do, I thought that was very impressive. So I would highly recommend that. I would tell you that's another avenue that you can use. And it's not free, but it's this side of free when you're seeking legal advice. So I would highly say to go do that. I'm trying to think of anything else I can think of because I want to make sure I get those in, because we have this wonderful guest coming today, and I'm so excited to have him on the show. We tried to have him before, and the sound, I know what it was. We couldn't bring him in, and we were talking, and then we got it was all grainy, all those, things go. This is what I tell people all the time. Technology is not perfect. It is not. So you have to kind of roll with the punches. And I just learned it's okay. You just kind of, we'll come back and do it again. That's okay. And I'm just so honored that he would have the time and he was available. And he's going to talk about his books. He is, I believe it's an 8-time. He's written 8 books, which is impressive enough. He's a well-traveled gentleman, and he's going to share with you. He has a book that I think is going to touch many of our hearts for our young Black men. I'm excited. I just want to make sure. Before I leave this topic and I bring our guests on today, is there any questions about anything I talked about? Because I want to clear that up before I move on. Any questions about the wills, what's in a trust, what is the transfer on death deed, where you can find that. I would get the book though. The book is, if you go look on Amazon, you'll notice it's 5 stars. It's everybody that has bought the book has given it 5 stars. That's not everybody, because more people have bought it than gave the reviews. And this is what I would encourage those of you to please leave reviews when you purchase the books. People read those reviews. They really do, because that's what they always tell me. And as many of you already know, the book coming out soon is When I Was on the Moon. Please leave a review if you are one of the people who purchased the book. Okay, now I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna give you the introduction. I didn't see any comments come in, so I'm gonna read you the introduction for our guests, because, ladies and gentlemen, we're excited to have them. I want to see. There we go. And he is. I'm just so appreciative of him coming back, because people, our lives are busy. Maybe not everybody, but quite a few. And for him to say, you know what, I like to come back. I really want to make sure we have a good interview, it says a lot about who he is. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is about Larry, and I don't want to say it, I think it's Ukali Johnson-Redd. A native of San Francisco, California, Larry has spent the majority of his life advocating for and participating in educational initiatives. As the author of 8 books, I was right, he focuses his commentaries on cultural, political, and local, national, and international issues. A prolific writer, powerful communicator, and sought-after speaker, Larry is available for lectures, interviews, speaking, and media engagements, which is impressive. And his books are books by Johnson-Redd: The Black Expatriate in Africa, Journey to the Motherland from San Francisco to Benin City, an autobiographical novel; History to Destiny through Afrocentric poetry; Loving Black Women, essays and spoken word; Long Distance Love, My Second Trip to Nigeria; American Challenges in the Obama Era, Part 1; American Challenges in the Obama Era, Part 2; A Letter to My Young Brothers, newly released. Larry holds a master's degree in public administration, educational administration, including an administrative credential from the University of California and Golden Gate University, as well as San Francisco State University. His works are available on Amazon and Kindle using this link. And I'll put the link, hold on, I'm gonna put it in our show link. So those of you like to get the link, you can. There you go. Just a second here. Here we go. Oops, every time I pull it up, it's pulling in 2 links. So anyway, but we'll talk about that. It says maybe Larry can put it in when he comes in. You can put it in, he'll send it to me. So why don't you do that, Larry, while I'm reading this? Send me the link and then I'll put it in. This is his new book, Letter to My Young Brothers and Their Parents. Includes 4 chapters covering many chapter discussions. I'm sorry. Okay. Where am I? Covering many aspects of school success and motivation for young brothers at all levels of education and youth. The first chapter includes motivation and the wisdom to pass elementary school. Young brothers, the wisdom to pass elementary school that young brothers need. The second chapter includes preparing to graduate from middle school. The third chapter includes the important reasons and advice after graduating from high school. And the fourth chapter discusses roads to success for young brothers who may consider who may consider or drop out of high school. This book celebrates African Americans learning light discussion on suicide prevention and ways to build success in young Black kids. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome to the show the one and only Larry. Okay, Larry, I'm saying the name. Tell me how you pronounce your name.
Ukali. Larry
Ukali.
Ukali Johnson-Redd.
There you go. See, we
And
got it
it's so
correct.
nice to be
Well,
here with you.
I'm
Thank
glad we
you.
got this technology straight.
Yeah, we got on top of it. That's right.
Yes,
Yes, because we had some technical problems the first time and the
we
second
did.
time.
I
Yes.
know. But we
So
finally
nice to finally be here.
it's so good. I'm just honored to have you because I know what it takes to write books, and I know the
Oh yeah.
dedication it takes to write a book. And you've
Yes.
written 8 books.
8 books, yes. And
Yeah,
believe you me, it's a pleasure to be here and to promote this book, Letter to My Young Brothers, because my young brothers are so important to me and to us as a people, and to all of us. So we want to have some good young brothers, and this book guides us producing good young brothers. Okay,
wow, wow. Okay. Now,
and this is a book I would say a family should read.
what made you write that book? Why were
Well, I was
you?
called before this sister who was my agent named Donna and her friend. And her friend said, "Hey, my son has committed suicide, my grandson." And so when they both told me that, and then Donna told me about this study between UCLA and Harvard and what the results of it was. The results of this zip code study was that black young men had the worst chance of being successful than all the other boys in America. And so when I heard that, I had a challenge to respond to it, and that's what I've done with this book: is respond to that UCLA Harvard study, as
Mhm.
well as to the pronouncements that they say blacks will be unsuccessful in. And
Right,
what it will be important is that brothers and sisters read this book as a family and as individuals and follow some of the guidelines in the book. Like, for instance, when the summer comes, don't just sit back and relax. You have
right,
to get up July 1st and go to, like, say you're in the 6th grade, then
right,
go and you're going to the 7th grade. You go and download all the words and definitions for every class you're going to have in the 7th grade. Again, I'm a former principal, former vice principal, and former teacher, and I'm still currently teaching.
right,
But if your student signs up with Google or with Quizlet.com and goes
mhm,
there and studies the words and definitions for 1 month before they start school, so that when they go back to school, they know these words and definitions that the teacher is going to use to teach the subject, and they succeed better.
right,
Okay,
right. That's no,
and
I've never
that's
heard.
what we need to have young boys do:
Okay,
succeed. And even if a girl reads the book, with her mother and father, or any kind of family member reads it, any person, even an immigrant who does read it, will be prepared of all the words that they're going to have in their next class.
right. I'm listening to you. I've never heard of Quizlet. I've never heard of that.
Quizlet.com, yes, and it's definitely there. It's a little charge, and I'm not on their payroll, but they will give you the words and definitions for every class you're going to face in junior high school and high school. And when you have
Wow.
those words and definitions, pardon me,
How do you spell
pardon
that?
me,
How do you spell that?
Quizlet, Quizlet.com.
Okay, I put 2 Z's. Okay, I'm good. I just wanted to make sure I got it correct because
Right, and
what I
it's good to get
will
it correct.
do, and I want to, I what I've been trying to do is like if you have notes on the bottom of the emails, the one I put up recently, it says suicide prevention. And so I'm starting to add
Yeah.
these, like I'll put Quizlet at the bottom. It'll just stay there because this is what I've learned. I anywhere from 10 to I've had up to 100 people a day join that email list. That means they're looking at it for the first time. So I want to make sure I'm giving
Yes.
good information that they can use for their kids and
Yes.
grandkids.
Yes. That's good.
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
good. That's good.
Yes.
And
So you
so
go on.
the first chapter is about elementary school and the challenges students face, like learning the difference between a verb and a noun, and other
Hmm.
things like that. And so this book talks about graduating to a young person so that that is firmly in their minds. So they're not just going to school for nothing, or not just going to school to play around and break and joke and take off and all of that. No, they're going to
Right.
graduate. So they have a purpose in their heart and in their mind, and they don't do anything to threaten themselves from graduating while they're in school. So the first chapter is about elementary. The second
Mm-hmm.
chapter is about secondary school, middle school, which is going to be from the time they're 12 to 14, and
Right.
where you might have to learn how to write a one paragraph essay or even a
Hmm.
three paragraph essay, how to describe yourself and how to express yourself. And it's so important that us young people learn how to express themselves so that they can be heard by the teacher, by the other students, by everybody in the world. The third
You.
chapter is about high school
Okay.
and all the challenges of high school, including the high school prom, where you can't get yourself mixed up too deeply.
Right.
Otherwise, you might come out with a rape charge. So you have to really be following the rules. As well, you have to write the 5 paragraph essay for most subjects, and you need to know the words. If you're going to take government, you got to know all the government words. If you're going to take economics, you got to take all those economic words. There are a lot of
Right.
different words to learn, but if you learn them before you go to class, you're going to be much successful. And then the fourth
You
chapter
will. Uh
is
huh.
for those young brothers who decided they want to drop out. And so in the fourth chapter, I discuss with them how to reverse your mind and think about it, because it's going to take you a little time to go back and graduate from K-12, but it might take you years to graduate from an adult school like the one I teach in right now. And so we have people
Wow.
30 and 40 still trying to get their high school diploma. So
Wow.
definitely you want to take to read all 4 chapters, because all 4 chapters will show you the best chance you got to graduate is through K-12, and that you need to be focused on that and not let anything get in your way.
Right. Well,
Yes.
I can tell you, I can tell you this is a passion for you to help young men. And it sounds like you can apply it to
Yes.
young women too. The
Oh,
book,
yes.
it's
In fact, I
oh,
went into a store one day, and this
uh-huh.
Latino lady said, "Hey, my granddaughter likes your book," and so I was really shocked. But yeah, that was because there are good learning techniques here that are outlined, and in outlining these good learning techniques, then any person who reads the book is it's going to improve their way they act in school and how they respond to their teachers.
Wow,
Yes.
that's excellent. Well, I know too, like I
Yes.
said, just me writing that one thing down, the Quizlet, and
Yes.
encouraging people to use it. The other one I know, Khan Academy. Are you familiar with Khan Academy?
Yes, I'm familiar with Khan Academy. I've been there before, and also many big high schools will have these lists of definitions and words on their websites. So
Oh, okay.
if you have a big high school like Lowell High School in San Francisco, then you might be able to
Mhm.
get it from there at little or no cost. But at the last place you want to go to is Quizlet, because you know they have it and you know they have a little charge. But they have
Okay.
all the words and definitions outlined. And if you got those words and definitions in your skull, in your head, in your heart, when you go to class, you're gonna learn very well, because you're gonna understand everything the teacher says.
Wow. Well, I can tell
Yes.
you, it sounds like just knowing all
Yes.
these things, which I know too. This is your last the last book you've completed, right? This is your most recent book.
Yes,
Is it
yes,
okay? What your first
yes,
book? I think it was
yes,
about. Was it Africa and the expatriate? Did
yes,
it?
yes. It was,
Okay.
well, actually, it was called The Black Expatriate at first. But then
Mhm.
when I got back here, nobody in America knew what an expatriate was. That was 1982, 83. So I had to change it to Journey to the Motherland. But
Okay.
everybody knows what that is. And
Yes.
so I was in Nigeria. I taught for 4 years. I taught government in high school for 4 years. And the
Hmm.
Nigerians had just come out of 13 years of military government. But their young people were very intelligent about who the senators and House of Representatives members and cabinet
Hmm.
system of government, as well as presidential system. And so I taught there with a lot of respect, and the students learned very well. And in 2015, they called me to London so that they could tell me they were really appreciating me being a good teacher. So that
Wow.
was definitely a joyous thing to remember.
Yeah.
And the fact is, though, that Journey to the Motherland will give you 4 years of my living in the homeland. And because I spoke broken English, I learned more of the homeland than a normal citizen would, from the U.S. But yeah, I spoke broken English. I drank palm wine every time I wanted to. They do drink a lot of beer. I had my beer in a little bit. But
Oh,
what was important about Nigeria was learning that north, south, east, or west, that they have understanding of who we were as African Americans, and they had a welcome, a very good welcome for any African American in Nigeria. So that
I
was beautiful.
felt that too. Yeah, I felt that people were
Yeah.
welcoming. I went. Oh my gosh, longer than you. It was over. It's been over 40 years because I. It's been like 50 at least when I went to Africa, and haven't we
Yeah.
haven't been back. We've been to Brazil. My husband and I've been to Brazil. We
Okay.
haven't been to Africa. Now think about it. That's got to be on our list because we haven't. That's just one
Okay.
place we haven't been. Yeah, but
Yes.
I would like
And
for him to
if
do
you
that.
do, if you do go, be sure to taste the palm wine,
Oh, I
which
know.
is
That was I know
you
about
know,
palm pie. I know about fufu. I know that's
okay.
and they
Yeah. Oh, that
hmm
fufu is good.
that
Yeah, I
fufu
eat
is
that even in Antioch
oh my
in the
goodness. That was
egusi soup.
thing. Yes.
Yeah,
And I was
and
years
then
ago, mhm, it was just like probably I look back now, I would have never done that then, but I was 19 and I had no fear. It's a wonder I wasn't in a shallow grave somewhere because I was out at night. I didn't know that they just wanted me to come to their house and they cooked dinner for me. And I
yes,
did.
yes.
If I look back now, I would never do
Oh,
that.
yes.
But they said, if you would just come,
Well, Nigerians are great hosts.
oh, this was in Ghana, but
Yeah,
still mixed in.
Nigerians. Okay, Ghana.
Mhm.
And
And I,
you'll find most of the African countries have a little similarities. Ghana
yes,
eats the same food as Nigeria. They
I
goosey soup
saw
in
that.
Ghana is like they do in Nigeria. Even in
Yeah,
Senegal, they have the same similar food. So, but the Nigerians are good hosts. They
they
really
are.
went out the way, and a lot of people, invited me to cook dinner, and me and my late wife, because I had a wife when I went there,
Hmm.
Chinwe, and we were treated very well all over Nigeria, north, south, east, and west. And
Wow.
I lived in the Midwest, and that's where they speak the most broken English, and that's where I really tore it up and really learned a lot about the country because I could hear what was going on with that broken
Right.
English. Even though in the
Well,
school you can't speak broken English. In school you
it,
can't
it
speak
was,
broken, and if they do, I had to
uh-huh.
let them know, hey, you can't speak broken English in school, otherwise your parents won't be happy. And that kind of clicked with them, and they said, "Oh, you understand broken, so they understood that I knew what they were talking about, and that
Right.
kind of helped me control my classes better.
Well, you were there.
Yes,
You lived there.
Nigeria.
I
Oh
was
yeah,
only there
I lived there
for.
for 4 years.
Let's see. I was only there for 6 weeks. Was it 6 weeks? 6 weeks.
Okay,
The
yeah,
university sent
but
me
six
for.
weeks is better than no time at all.
It
It's good
is.
to be
It
in
is.
Nigeria because Nigeria, you'll find, is our home.
Oh yeah. I
And
had
the
people.
Nigerians, the Ghanaians,
Uh
they
huh.
all love African Americans and they treat us well in their country.
It is
Yes.
an
And I
experience.
also wrote a book called Loving Black Women. Yeah,
Okay,
my second book was called History to Destiny through Afrocentric Poetry, but my
right.
third book is called Loving Black Women. And this book is all
Wow.
about her brother loving Black women. And
Wow.
so in the book, I have poems like Rain. Why do we make blood run like pouring rain? Why do we cause families pain? Why do we stand in each other's blood if we from the good black mud? Shooting in our community, another brother fatality, killing off brothers in our community. What about longevity and unity in our community? While we share one destiny, we kill each other like an enemy. And where will lovely sisters select a man if there are no more of the young black man? Taking it from the very top, brothers, we got to make it stop. So that's just a part of how the destiny goes in this book, because this was written in 2003 when we were doing a whole lot more killing of each other than we're doing now. We kind of slowing it down now, but we need to stop it.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
that's this
I
book.
just had that conversation about um, that drugs are what that we were that before drugs came into our communities, we were doing well. Then once
Yes,
that happened, it changed
yes,
everything.
yes. It
So,
changed
but
everything.
I love
And
that whole.
it made, oh, yeah, this definitely is a book of poetry, and it's got a tribute to a sister, and it's got Breathing While Black, which I read in Los Angeles when I was down there. And there's Faces of Africa, The Beauty of a Sister. Let me give you that one. Uh,
Okay.
when you see her walking, when you see her talking, let me tell you, mister, that's the beauty of a sister. Think about her wit. Check out her mind. What you will find, our sister's one of a kind, like a hurricane, stronger than a twister. Strength and integrity is in the beauty of a sister. Walking with us through history, sharing with us our destiny. Like the sun, no, the moon, she's covered in mystery. So many shades of beauty. To our race, a sense of duty. In so many different shades, a sister's beauty escapes. And that is a shade that will never ever fade. Let me tell you, mister, she's stronger than a twister. Stand up if you agree with me on the beauty of a sister. So, yeah, there are
Oh my
positive pieces like
God,
that in this book.
that
Yes.
sounds. I
All
like
right.
that.
All
Uh
right.
huh.
Yep. So, and then I wrote the book called American Challenges in the Obama Era.
I
And
saw.
that's a two-part series.
I saw
And
that.
part one was about the first term of office, and the second was about the second. And they weren't all glorious because Obama had a hard time. Even though he was a black president, he had a hard time convincing black people that he was for real. And also, he had a hard time because a lot of the white congressmen didn't want to give him anything. But
Right.
what black folks took out of that was that, maybe we don't need a president. We need some more unity among ourselves to make us stronger. And that was what, I did do was I made this strategic national black consensus a part of what I developed in the book. And also the idea of a national black movement where we would come together as a movement so that we could help to give ourselves a stronger name and more influence in the country. And then
Right.
finally, I did write another book about another trip to Nigeria called Long Distance Love. And if you read that, it's going to be interesting because it's going to be in southern Nigeria mostly. But the thing is that you don't want to go with too far with that long distance love because you get scammed, and I got scammed. So that I
Mm.
felt I had to write a story so that nobody else would get scammed like that, because
Yeah.
long distance love is something that where you have given people a chance to scam you, and a lot of people do get scammed on that long distance love. Maybe
I've
some
heard
are lucky, but
I
I
have heard
wasn't
that.
lucky on that one.
Well, that's I've heard the
But
you're not the only one who's heard
by writing it out and put it
mhm.
to the side.
It sounds. I mean, I know a couple of people
Pardon me?
that I know a couple of people that have been scammed by that. They were, the person at first was really, really
Yeah,
nice, and
yeah.
then they started asking them. Eventually, they start asking for money, or um, and they'll say they're going to pay it back, but they never do. It was just that kind of thing. And finally, the person I think realized
Yeah,
that they were being scammed. At first, they didn't. It wasn't obvious at first. Let me say that, and then it became
yeah,
obvious
yeah,
later. Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
don't feel bad. You're not the only one.
Well, I was
Uh,
able to write. Yeah, I was able to write 200 pages on it, so I was able to pour it away. And after it poured away, it didn't hurt no more. Life moved on. And but
okay.
definitely, that's what you want to make sure you do is move on, because long distance love is empty. It doesn't work for the most part.
Okay. Well, that's good to
But
know.
those are my 6 books, 7 books, and also. But the most important one, I believe, now to the future of Black people is this book, "Letter to My Young Brothers," who have to avoid the prison to jail pipeline that's sending so
Mhm.
many of our brothers to jail, and they
Right.
have to make sure they start working on learning all the words and definitions at the beginning of school, in the middle of school, and at the end of school, so that we can up our graduation rate. Because when I was in San Francisco, graduating in 1970, there was about a 50% black male dropout rate. And we got to do much better than that. And we can, as long as we are consciously studying the words and definitions of our future classes before
Right.
we enter those classes, so that we enter the class and we know how to speak in the hood, but also we got to know how to speak in the school. And
Oh,
the
you're
better
right.
we prepare ourselves, the better our grades are going to be.
Well, we have some comments from our wonderful audience here. I want to make sure, first of all, I want to thank Charles and Nanette. They had the first two comments, but we have Inoko. I've been saying Inoko for years, and they told me I was pronouncing your name wrong, but you were kind enough not to say. But this Inoko says she loves those beautiful words. Oh, they were too. That's why I said, wow, that is
Okay.
beautiful. And then she's also said, she says, um, crack changed it did the moral fabric of our communities, especially the Black woman. And you said our backbone. Drugs in general have changed our community because before drugs, we were doing very, not that we're not doing well, but it has definitely, it's been a generation that been truly, truly affected by the drugs, no doubt. And then she was laughing out loud and she also said, what
Well,
did you say? I love those your encouraging words and the truth. And she says too, pain into purpose. That's what you were describing, I think, pain into purpose. And she
yes,
says, from the hood to the White House,
yes.
from the hood to the
Thank
White
you.
House. So I can tell you that sounds like the title to a book, from the hood to the White
Yes,
House.
yes.
It
Quite a
does.
journey.
It is definitely.
That is a journey too, and we've got a chance to make that journey.
What would you? What words would you give
Anoko
someone?
Jefferson, right on.
Yes. Uh huh. Oh, she said she loves your courage and your truth. And that's, I'm gonna tell you, Inoko, I've known Inoko since she was
Oh,
how old? Inoko? I'm gonna say 16. I think 16. I came to Riverside and I worked in the Upward Bound program, and she was one of the students there. And we it was like I guess something spiritual, but we've known each other so long. I almost feel like she's like a daughter to me. It's one of and you have so much respect for young people. Always knew there was something about Inoko. I can't describe it, but I always knew it was there. And she said she's laughing out loud, and she's
sounds
15.
like
15, and she said I've known her since she was 15. That's what it is. I'm sorry. Go on, Larry.
sounds like Itabari M. Zulu. Itabari M. Zulu grew up in San Francisco, but also in Los Angeles. He was my
Uh-huh.
publisher for my first 3 books, and he's recently passed. But I'll never forget, Brother Itabari, because we met in high school in San Francisco,
Wow.
and he turned out to be a publisher out of LA, so he got me started, and I'll never forget him. And he's a good
Uh-huh.
brother, just like Sister Anoka. Jeffersons, good sister.
uh-huh.
Yes.
And then Elaine, and thank you,
And
Coach. I'm an awesome role model. And I'll tell you too, I thank you for that. I do thank you for that. I do. I can't thank you enough because sometimes you wonder if what you're doing matters. And then I hear comments of people saying, you have no idea, you're helping me and my family, those kind of things. So it makes me know that what I'm doing does matter. Sending out the emails, people read them and they're getting something from them. And then Elaine says, Larry, you are really impacting our community with all your dynamic writings. Your words and your poems are passionate. Love how you have so much energy. Wow. He does too, doesn't he? I tell
thank you
you,
so much, Elaine.
I
And
know he does. And LinkedIn says something,
I
said,
can't
hi.
wait to just get this one out.
Ah, well, I tell you, this
Hi,
is
Mary. Okay.
and this is yeah, this is from LinkedIn. I didn't think LinkedIn could leave messages. LinkedIn is like, no, we leaving a message. Well, I don't know who it is. You can leave your name on LinkedIn.
Oh,
Thank you, whoever left the message on
so
LinkedIn.
all my books are available.
Yes, on Amazon, right?
Okay. All
Are they
my
on?
books are available at Amazon.com Kindle. Yes. And
Okay,
now this book here is you could get it as a hardback, paperback, or ebook. But all my other books are only ebooks on Amazon.com Kindle. And I just
oh,
want to just read just for the sisters. For the
okay,
sisters standing strong. My love is old and long, working with us through our mystery, laying with us throughout history. The good sisters, let their goodness shine, your sisters and mine. For the sisters, I got much respect, because without them, we are a wreck. Every sister is a mother, love and respect from every brother. And when it comes to the heart, a sister gives you a brand new start. And with times, when times are really hard, she gives nourishment and encouragement. For the sisters, no neglect. For our sisters, for real respect. But for the sisters throughout history, to the sisters, salutes from me. And if you agree with me, mister, hugs and kisses for the sister. Cause she doesn't have to accept our kisses. She can choose to be a miss, or they can be our misses. We must earn their trust. It's more than lust. There is something real inside of us. Love sisters to the heart and to them, and to the sisters, stay strong.
all right.
Yeah. Love and
Thank
light.
you,
Yes.
thank you. And we're down to like 2 minutes.
All
Let me
right.
get
For sure.
get these comments in because Nanette said, oh, I was talking about the drugs. She said, drugs within our community isn't new. My dad talked about that his experience as a musician in the 40s. Crack flooded our community, but alcoholism is a drug issue too. Thank you, Nanette. You're right. You're absolutely right. And then we have a comment. This is from Nanette said, that she enjoys hearing your words. And then we have Antonio. He said,
Okay.
hi, Mary.
Thank
Hi,
you.
Antonio. And I'm fine. Thank you for asking. And Charles says, some are not available. She says, some of your books are not available on Amazon. Larry, did you know that?
Oh
Charles,
yes, they are. I have a six book. No, if you go to my page is being redone right now and updated, but all of my
okay.
books will be on Amazon. All six of my books, as well as my newest book, they will all be on Amazon.com Kindle, and also Amazon.com will have this book in particular, Journey.
Okay.
I mean, a letter to my young brothers. So it's been a while getting justice from Amazon, but I think it's about to come now.
All right. And here's the other comments. Well, and first of all, Antonio said, hi, Oliver. So, hi, Oliver. I wanted to get your hi in there. This is Inoko says, the power of love. That's what your poem was about, love. And she said, yes, and thank you. So,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen, we're less than
All
30
right. Thank
less than 30 seconds. First, I'd like to thank you, Larry, for being a special guest on the show. Thank you for taking time out of your day. We have really enjoyed your poetry.
for sure.
I know I have. So I know that guests have. So Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you so much.
And I know I do want you to come back again if you can, if you have the availability. And maybe we can make it all about poetry next time. We will do that.
Yes.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen,
Hey, sounds
that's
good to me.
the show for
Okay.
today. I want to thank you all for coming. I will be back. Oh no, I don't think I'll be back next Monday. I actually have an engagement, but I'll let you know. I'll post something and let you know about what's going to happen next Monday. All right. Take care. I'll talk to you soon. God bless each and every one of you. Bye, everybody.